Hey, Jenni Lee here live in Round Rock, and as you just read the caption, I am with those parents right now. They are frustrated. They want something done, even though they have been complaining to their higher up. So I want to introduce you right now to those parents. Let me turn the camera around. If you ladies can introduce yourself. Evelyn.
Hi, Evelyn Navarez.
And you are the secretary who worked directly for Veronica Koss, right? But you're also a parent. Your daughter, full disclosure, does not go to early college though. Okay. Okay. And go ahead, introduce yourself.
I'm Jolene Bartlett. I'm the parent of Emily, and she is a senior graduating and post-graduating class of early college high school.
Of course, your daughter has been attending early college all 4 years. That it has been open, right? Okay. And Andrea, go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Andrea Dustman, and my daughter is a 16-year-old student at BCHS, and she is on her sophomore year.
Okay, I'm going to start with Evelyn because you were Veronica Koss's secretary, and you actually wrote a letter to the superintendent. You resigned back in April because you could no longer take the comments coming from Ms. Koss. Go ahead and tell us what sorts of comments, because you actually have known Ms. Koss for the past 4 years. So just to be clear, everyone listening, Ms. Koss was an assistant principal at early college, and then she was the main principal for the last 2. So go ahead and tell us what sorts of comments Ms. Koss has made.
So the letter that I sent out, I had kept a copy because I knew that one day other parents were going to come forward. I knew people were going to start speaking up. The letter basically used some of her comments to talk about students who are in special education. It said we have too many students who are basket cases in this campus. And this was said to the whole staff at a meeting that we had at the beginning of the year last year when she took over being a principal, and many times in the office.
And I'm sorry, so people watching can barely hear you. Can you speak up a little bit? I'm going to come a little bit closer. So
last year during the meeting that with the whole staff, it was at the beginning of the year.
maybe we can move away from the water. Okay, everybody, I'm listening. So we can move over here a little bit. We're in the middle of a square, so it's, yeah. So this is I'm sorry, guys. I know the audio is horrible, so, all right. So is this better? And if you can speak up a little bit, Evelyn. Okay.
So last year during the meeting that they had, that she had with the whole staff, her word, it said we have so many students. This was said to the whole staff in a meeting and many times in the office talking about our students. Also said, quote unquote, parents are enabling their kids to be on SPED and 504. They need to be weaned off, and that teachers need to do that for them. SPED is a waste of time, and we don't want those teachers here. There was one teacher who was African American, and her words about her name is Natasha Denny. She said those people, that culture is just lazy, and she's a prime example of them. They all have a chip on their shoulder. We don't owe them anything. Among other things that happened, that she was pushed out of the district. About the students and the Black community, due to them starting the BSU, which is Black Students Union,
And that's a student group on campus.
Who had the hardest time starting it. And they complained, parents complained, there were meetings, but nothing was ever done. She said, Black people have a chip on their shoulder. You all know that, to the office staff. She told a teacher who is her close friend that she needed to be over the BSU, and these were her exact words. I need you, blank, to be over the BSU club because I need someone I trust with them to make sure that they stay in their lane and not bring over social issues here. Quote unquote. Those kind of parents are loud and always starting drama. It is just how Black people are. Quote unquote. We need to change the club to cultural club. This was said to myself and another employee. If you try to change the name, we told her parents will be very upset. Her response was, so what? Black power now while doing this? What is next? KKK club? Other comments, such as immigrant parents did not know what is going on with their kids. The kids run all over them. They tell the parents what to do because they have no education. They are ignorant. We have so many students, again, who are basket cases. She repeated this over and over and over again. This happened, the harassment that was brought up on myself and some other staff who have also come forward is horrible. I would go home crying, and the saddest thing for me is that people are sitting back not saying anything. Teachers will have heard this. students are now speaking though, so are the parents. This has given them a voice. It costs so much for so many people. It cost my job, my pension, but it was so worth it because now we have students coming forward and speaking, telling their story, telling their side, and truly what is happening behind closed doors.
Okay, let me interrupt you real quick, and we're going to keep moving away from the water. And so for those of you just joining us, you've been asking for a recap. We're going to move away from the water fountain here. I'm talking to parents. That was Evelyn, who used to work for Veronica Cost, the principal over at Early College High School. That is a high school here in the Round Rock Independent School District. So these parents, this ex-employee Evelyn, who used to be her secretary, they're all making allegations that Ms. Koss has made disparaging comments about staffers, about students, students who receive 504 accommodations. So this is accommodations made for students who need a little bit extra time when taking tests, who have PTSD, who have anxiety, who may be autistic. So these parents are saying that they have not been given these accommodations that they should by law, by the way, okay? These parents have made complaints. Ms. Koss has not complied. And also that Ms. Koss has made several disparaging remarks against African-American students, against Hispanic students, against immigrant students, against LGBTQ students. So these parents have told me they have made complaints, and those complaints have fallen against deaf ears. So we have contacted the Round Rock Independent School District. We are waiting for comment from the school district. So that's a recap for those of you who are just joining us. Evelyn is a parent. Her daughter does not go to Early College school. She goes to another school, but she has worked directly for Ms. Koss for several years. You just heard her tell her story about how Ms. Koss has made disparaging remarks against her. So as a result, she had to quit. She had to go to therapy. She had to go on medication. She lost her pension because of this, okay? There was another teacher who quit because of Ms. Koss as well. She made her pleas to the Round Rock Independent School Board. We'll show you that as well as part of my story. I'm gonna try to address some of your comments right now. Let's see, I've already addressed that. I'm so sorry you couldn't hear. I know I was sitting next to the water fountain. Let me see here. Let's see, I think that's most of your concerns. So sad. Your daughter, Crystal McNeely, your daughter also Cedar Valley, they're great with her 504 accommodations. That's great to hear. Superintendent needs to be all over this. These parents here have told me they have, some of them anyway. There are many parents, so I'm interviewing 3. There are many parents who didn't want to be on camera for fear of retaliations. Okay, let's go ahead and hear from a couple of more parents here. Here we go. So tell us about your daughter, who's been at Early College for all 4 years and who has not been given all her 501 accommodations. What's her,
right?
Yeah, what's her story?
Every time we meet with Ms. Koss every year, we review the accommodations by law, and every year she extends the time further and further so that at least half the year she won't get as many accommodations. She's already explained that to us, that we're not going to be first, but the graduating class that she's in will always be last, so that she doesn't have to deal with it. And it's very frustrating. I've asked for it to be pushed up closer to the beginning of the school year, and she's denied me. And quite frankly, it's frustrating. I've never had a good interaction with Ms. Koss. Never once. It's uncomfortable. She makes me feel out of place there. She's separated the parents. We have no communication until yesterday, until somebody posted online, started a thread. I think it was Ms. Evelyn. And then all of a sudden I thought, wow, that's my story. And then I read another one and I said, that's our story. Wow, that's happening to other people. So then that's when I posted on there as well and said, this is what's happening to us. And it came today because it needs to stop. And we believe it'll stop. We believe something will be done. And that's why we're here.
How does your daughter throughout this whole ordeal?
Well, in the beginning, we were kind of geared up to fight for her rights. But this past year, this school year, she said, Mom, how about we just be quiet this year? How about we don't cause any ruffle? How about I just get through? I don't feel like the fight with Ms. Koss anymore. And I have so much on my plate as a graduating senior that I just can't do it this year. Is that okay? And I had agreed until now.
I mean, what has been the result? You told me that Miss Koss what was she doing to your daughter?
Well, anytime that my daughter's been in trouble, which is probably 2 times in the 4 years for something small, she went to the max punishment. It suspended her for a first-time offense for just saying a word, and she just treats her differently. And it's frustrating for my daughter. She doesn't want to be treated differently. She wants to be treated like everybody else at that school.
Do you feel like it's retribution at all?
For sure.
Okay.
Yes, since day one.
Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and go to Andrea now, who, by the way, has not slept. She's felt so strongly about this that she works at Dell Children's Medical Center. She worked the night shift, and then she came during her time off because she needed to speak up before her night shift tonight. So thank you, Andrea, for your time. And tell us what you do, because it plays a part into what you're going to tell us. Tell us your occupation.
So I work in the mental health unit at Dell Children's Hospital. I am a behavioral health technician. I work with children who have gone through many different things. And some of them personally are students at ECHS deal with, my daughter deals with as well. I work with kids who have PTSD, who have trauma, who have anxiety and depression and OCD and ADD and autism. We work with the whole spectrum of children. So I understand where and why these accommodations come from on the mental health aspect of it. It's not always, 504 is not always mental health.
Right.
However, my daughter's is for mental health, and I understand that aspect. We on the unit teach children how to so sorry.
No, it's okay. It's a very emotional issue.
It is. It's extremely emotional, but coping mechanisms. We teach them how to be able to be out in the world and cope, so that they're not doing things like harming themselves, or just so that they can succeed in life. And that's what some of these 504 accommodations are, and they are not being met. Last year, my daughter was a freshman, and we did not get to meet for her 504 until, I believe, the beginning of the second semester. So half the year had already gone by, and we were told during that 504 that a lot of her accommodations were not going to be met, and that they would not be met because ACC does not allow 504, which is an outright lie. ACC does. They have certain accommodations that they do provide, which were all accommodations we were asking for my child, which were denied. She was allowed one accommodation, which was to have extended time to complete certain tasks. And even though on paper that's what was allowed, in the classroom she was actually not allowed it. She was also supposed to be allowed to walk out of the classroom because she does have PTSD and anxiety, to be able to take time to calm down, to breathe, to meditate, or to come into the front office, which she never did, because she did not feel safe in the front office. She did not feel like that's a place that she could go and to get the help that she needed. When we got out of that appointment, we were very, very, very intimidated. I was extremely intimidated. I'm not one who is easy to back down.
A meeting with who?
With Miss Koss.
Okay.
When we had the meeting with Miss Koss about her 504 plan.
Okay.
And she railroaded right into me, and I just pinned me down and was like, this is how it's going to be. This is what it is. We don't do that. We don't. And it was my first year in high school. My daughter's only had a 504 plan for half a year the previous year. So for me, it was really, really, really hard for me to I just accepted what she said, and I didn't know any better until I spoke with some of her therapists, and they told me that is not correct. That is not how it's supposed to behave. And actually, I was given phone numbers to advocates that I was going to reach out to this year, so that they can come with me to the 504 meeting, and so that they could advocate for my daughter in ways that I could possibly not advocate for her.
Yeah.
However, this has caused my daughter almost didn't come back to school this year, even though she knows how important this program is. This is supposed. We love Round Rock ISD. We speak so highly of it, and this is supposed to be a program that is helping kids achieve great goals.
That's right.
These kids are extremely intelligent, and they're scared. They're scared to say things. Parents are scared to say things. They're intimidated. They walk around the school campus intimidated. I know that my daughter felt very much, what's the word for it? Like pinpointed,
Targeted, right?
Targeted. There you go. Targeted anytime she was out. And she just kept her head down and try to stay out of trouble as much as possible, you know. But even just not simple things that she's supposed to have, like asking, this is my 504 accommodations, can I please? And they would deny her, and so then eventually she stopped asking, and it made a big deal. It made huge problems with her in school, and my daughter's never had those kind of problems before in school.
And how does that make you feel as a mother, as her mother?
It's very upsetting. It makes me feel as if I'm, like, my hands are tied and I can't do the job that I'm supposed to do as a mother in protecting my child. And our children are supposed to be able to go to school and feel protected and feel like they're wanted to be there and feel like they're important, and that's, you know, as somebody who works with kids, that's your job. Your job is to make these kids feel like they aren't just a paycheck, and that's what they are. That's how they feel. They feel like they're not being heard and they don't matter.
Andrea, thank you so much. And again, you've only heard from 3 parents. They're going to have a meeting tonight where several of them will discuss this further on. I've only interviewed 3. There are several others who didn't want to be on camera because this was a meeting for these parents to discuss Ms. Koss and the allegations that you have heard. Again, I have reached out to the Round Rock Independent School District. I'm waiting for them to reach back out to me to see what they have to say about these allegations. And so I will let you know what they have to say coming up on KB News at 5 and 6. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.